Hello, everyone. This is Thomas Pepin NHL Talk. I'm Thomas Pepin, and let's talk about the NHL. So, today we are going to start with a series I'm going to be doing on what I would do if I was the GM of different franchises. And so, uh, basically, yeah, it would be things like trades, signings, and so on across the board, essentially, what I would do as a GM. So, Uh, in part one, we're going to start with the Nashville Predators. And basically, there's a couple approaches I'm going to have to this. So, uh, first thing, um, with regards to trades, I'm going to do my absolute best to be objective and in the trades, the franchise I'm managing, we will lose the trade uh, in theory. So, at least from what I would estimate as the general consensus, would say that I would have lost the trade. But in the grand scheme of things, where I hope to demonstrate how the team actually wins in the end. But uh, since again, this is always on the fly, no prep work outside of knowing the subject, I don't know exactly how things are going to go. Um, but essentially, that's the goal. So uh, I put together a better team, a measurably better team, uh, without cheating or showing any substantial bias, I guess you could say, as much as that's possible. Um, anyways, so the other thing I should say about the series is essentially I'm taking a look at franchises that either should have already or probably will soon consider getting rid of their general managers for whatever reason, if it's poor performance, uh, too long of a tenure uh, with the franchise, and um, whatever it is, any combination of things. Um, so basically, for the series, I'm starting from uh, longest running GM that I don't think should still be employed or should at least be considered to be let go or is likely to be considered to be let go. Um, so in this case, Nashville Predators GM David Poyle is um, the first GM. So he's been in for Jesus. When I see this stuff, like, makes me shake my head. Now, we'll be more objective as I go through, but just superficially, he's been GM for 25 years, over 25 years now. Nashville has done fine, and that's one of the steps that we'll take in looking at this, but 25 years, and I can say, as I'm sure everybody would know, they haven't won a Stanley Cup. So if you've been in control for 25 years and you haven't won a Stanley Cup, ownership should be, um, I don't know, questioned, I guess is a nice way to put it. Um, Management of the franchise should be questioned. So um, I think they're decently valued as a franchise. And I mean, they've done well, but to have no Stanley Cups out of 25 years with one GM, like, you should have changed that. That's my opinion. So, anyways, so he's been in uh, his role as a GM, amongst other roles, um, for 25 years. So since July 1997. So I think that's bad. And I think they should be considering a change of, of strategy. because if you haven't won a Stanley Cup in this time frame, and I think they've gotten to a final, and that's the extent of it. But we'll have a look at that in just a second. But you need to have accomplished something greater, I think, in a 25-year span. So, especially with one person, the franchise alone should have accomplished something. But just one person in charge, that's far too long of one person. So, anyways, unless they've been a stud at their job, which I would say is not the case, but we'll have a look. Um, so to start, there's David Poyle, Nashville Predators, and we shall have a look at their performance since he became GM. So he's been GM now that I'm looking at their year by year performance since their inception. Their first 5 years, they missed the playoffs. Now they have a very, all things considered, very respectable track record since that point. So, 0304 lost in the first round, 0506 first round, 0607 first round, 0708 first round, missed the playoffs 0809. First round, second round, missed the playoffs, first round, second round, Stanley Cup final against the Penguins. Second round, first round, lost in qualifying round, so that was the COVID year. And then first round. So Stanley Cup final once, otherwise have never gotten past the second round. So objectively speaking, I believe you could say that they haven't done enough in 25 years. You could argue the fact that they've made the playoffs so often that that they have performed, all things considered, pretty well. But I would need to see something beyond just making the playoffs. You got it. I mean, one run to the final, and then other than that, just the second round. Like, that's not enough. Second round was 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So 4 times in the second round, Stanley Cup final once in 25 years. So again, now I can say I don't know why they haven't looked into replacing him. So now, just for argument's sake, I know I've pulled this up previously, but what I'm going to have a look at is the regular season total points for the duration of their existence. So it was 98, 99 up until, we'll go last year. Some results. So Nashville is the 11th best performing regular season team since their inception. And then flip it over to the playoffs. They are 21st. So again, objectively speaking, that's insufficient performance to be in a job for 25 years, as far as I'm concerned. So that justifies the fact that we're going to have a look at if I was in charge of the Nashville Predators. So we are going to use a tool Now, I've only done this briefly in the past. I believe it should accomplish what I want to accomplish. Give me 1 second here. That's correct. So the tool we're going to use is the Armchair GM tool at Cat Friendly. This is going to make it more um, easy for me to deal with the movement of salaries and players and things like that. Now, um, again, I'm doing it on the spot. I've only done this previously a little bit, so I just hope that it works for the purposes I'm using it. And we're gonna discover, I guess, on the spot here. Um, okay, so one other thing I got to pull up here. So one thing I'm going to be leveraging as I work on making the moves to make this franchise the best franchise possible is my algorithm that I use for betting and stuff. Now, of course, I can't give you all the details about um, the data, how it's made, and all that, but it's something I'm going to be using um, because it includes a way that I assign values to players. So with their expected scoring and things like that. So this way I can um, find equivalents very quickly and easily and uh, have like a measurable way rather than like, so somebody plays 26 games in a season and has 15 goals versus 25 goals in 82 games. Well, how do I quantify which one's better value? And well, in this case, I have um, a way to do that. So, um, all right. I just need to save a duplicate. So just a sec. Okay, so we've got that pulled up. That's pulled up. Now, one other thing I should just comment on. I believe I gave a decent grade to Nashville with their cap management. So just a second, I'm going to go back and have a look. Okay, so I gave them an A plus. Now, uh, that is considering that they're competitive with their roster, no real bad salaries. The problem is that they haven't won for 25 years, anything of any great significance outside of the 1 year getting to the final. So, yeah, great that they manage the cap well. Yeah, great that maybe they've done it for a while, but you gotta win too. So that was my grade at that point in time. Uh, but now that we're looking at the their complete existence, it's been insufficient, the management of the team. So, um, yeah, so just another thing to touch on there. So now bear with me still. Okay, so their lines aren't set up, so give me a second. Just for my own managing of this, is it going to let me do that? Yes. Okay, so Forsberg, Granlund, Duchesne is the first line. Second line is currently Niederreiter, Johansson, and Sanford. Third line is Trenin, Sissons, and Janot. Colton Sissons, Janot, and then Cole Smith, Jankowski, and Karen. Jankowski, McCarron. And then on D, we have Yossi Gross, Ekholm Carrier, and then McDonough, Lozon. Okay, so I've got the lines in order now. We have to put together a better team. So, where should we start? So, of interest, let's just see if there's any free agents I would be interested in. Where are we? We want Nashville. Okay, so who do we have that's better? Alex Chason. How is he not picked up? I don't understand that. So right away, he's an improvement. Ryan Boyle's another improvement. Galchenyuk is an improvement. Louis Eriksson barely. Bozak is an improvement. Why isn't he on a team? I don't get it. Joe Thornton's an improvement. I think that's going to be it. No, Perlini's an improvement. And then otherwise, the rest I don't think are worthwhile taking a look at. So that's at least 5 people that could be on the roster. That would be an improvement, at least in terms of expected scoring from my analysis versus McCarron. Now, just to have a look, What's his story? McCarron is 27. Yeah, so there's no justification to keep him filling a roster spot versus somebody else. So like no justification for him to develop or whatever. He's 27. If he hasn't developed at this point, he's not really going to. Or you could argue that at least. So so right away there's free agents that could fill the spot. Now, could they get them at a dollar figure that is affordable? I mean, that's another story, but I would assume probably. 750,000. And I mean, yeah, Chaseon's salary was 750,000 last year. So Boyle, same thing. Galchenyuk, same thing. So plenty of guys that you could conceivably get at the same dollar figure that, at least in theory, should produce more. So, anyway, so that's an obvious change that I would make. So, should we do that? I guess we might as well just start. So we'll get rid of McCarron. Sign UFA. Where? Is it not going to? Why is it? I wish it would show. So it's showing the 2022-23 stats, but I'm not trying. What's their stats this year going to help me if they're a free agent? Stupid. Okay, well. We'll sign Jason. $750,000. Oh, and he's also a right winger, which helps. So, that comes in handy. So there we go. So first move, pick up Chase on. It could be any number of the players. You have your pick, Bozak or whatever. But all of those guys would be an improvement on McCarron, at least performance-wise, based on last year, and or at least with my algorithm, it's based on the previous 5 years weighted average to different years more so than others. But anyways, so that's first step. Now, we have Duchesne, Johansson. Let's do this. We'll sort by E. Okay, so we have. Oops, what happened there? Oh, well, I won't be able to do that then. How else can I do this? So I was trying to organize them by expected scoring, but because of the way that it references cells, it messed up everything. So I'm going to have them side by side instead. Now I can do it. E descending. Where is he here? I just want to make sure that it all translates over correctly. Good, okay. All right, so we have Duchesne is up there. Johansson. So I should say, what I'm taking a look at is their expected scoring, and so if I would be wanting to get rid of them or not. Well, and also if I could get rid of them is another thing I'm trying to figure out. So first, obviously, Philip Forsberg, we are not going to get rid of. That's outstanding value. We would be crazy to get rid of him. I believe so. Duchesne, I think we're going to keep as well. He ranks 52nd according to my algorithm in expected scoring. So I think that's and it also includes a number of players that like play under 10 games and stuff or whatever. So anyways, he's up there in the scoring, so that's another guy we're not going to get rid of. I do want to make sure though Duchesne still has 4 years. Forsberg expires when he is 36, which is also fine. So we're keeping both of them. Ryan Johansson. 0.22. Now the problem is if we could trade Johansson, which I don't think we could. Let's have a look at his stats. Actually had a good year last year. Ooh, that's tough. So I think now would be the time to try to trade him if somebody would pick him up. So according to my algorithm, he doesn't have the best of value. Not bad, obviously, because he produces, but over the long run, not nearly as good as Forsberg or Duchesne. So we'll go with trading Johansson, and let's see who we could get for Johansson here. All right, so Johansson had 26 goals. So let's see if we can find 26 goals somewhere else. Also, the goal is to try to decrease the salary. And age. So decrease the salary, age, long-term prospects, things like that. Who could we go for? So the one that stands out right away would be Anthony Duclair at only $3 million. He had 31 goals. And Johansson, I think had 30. No, he had 26. And his best year, long time ago, 33 goals and 26 goals. So 26 is kind of his peak. And Duclair's already past that, and Duclair's younger and less expensive. Could Florida afford him? Don't think so. Does Nashville have cap space? Nashville has $1 million. That's tough. Well, anyways, we'll revisit that in a couple. So we're going to need to find first a place to get rid of Johansson. Any suitors that can take $8 million. Ducks, Coyotes, Sabres. And I should also be simultaneously looking at where I can trade 1-for-1s. Man, this is a bit maybe harder on the spot than I was anticipating, but I should still be able to do it. It's no problem. All right, so Chris Kreider, couldn't pick up him. No way for Kyle Connor. Elias Lindholm, probably not. DeBrincat, 23. For Johansson, probably not. Cancel Barkov, Thompson. Brock Nelson, no. Rope Hintz. Probably not. Tarasenko. That would be nice, but probably not as well. Jeff Skinner. Maybe. He's born in 92, same age. More expensive. Man, he's been really up and down. No, we'll pass on him. That Anthony Duclair really does stand out. Hmm. Tyler Bertuzzi would be nice. Buchnevich. Could we get him? Maybe. No. So I might have to be given away or to pick up something other than goals, because so far I'm not finding any players that a team would want to get rid of that cost the same. Seattle doesn't have cap space, do they? No. Dubois. No. Detroit. Maybe. David Perron has 27 goals last year. So consistently more goals than Johansson. And I think Detroit could afford it. We'll revisit that. I think they could afford him. Did I see right? Yeah. Patrick Kane would be a good pickup. They don't have the space though. That's a possibility. How much space does Chicago? Oh, I know that doesn't matter. Nashville has 1 million. Could they retain? Probably not. Bergeron, no. Riemsdyk, no. No. So it doesn't look like we'll be able to. Well, I'll just have a scan through the rest here just to make sure. But what I was going to say is it doesn't look like we're going to be able to pick up another contract of comparable or better performance that somebody wants to get rid of in exchange for Johansson. So we'll still look through. I like Eberly. Could they? No, he's kind of like Johansson in terms of the dip in performance. Um, hmm, O'Reilly on an expiring contract, about the same price. Could we? I don't think they'd want him. That's too bad. Um, Well, more and more that I'm seeing things, it feels like Buffalo is going to be a good trading partner, but uh, don't want to get ahead of myself here. Anaheim. No, it doesn't look. No, so at least not for a 1-for-1. It doesn't look like I'd be able to get rid of Johansson. So we're going to have to unload the contract somehow with somebody that can afford it. So Buffalo, Arizona, Anaheim, Detroit, Chicago, Islanders, Senators, Blue Jackets. Not Blue Jackets. I doubt he's going back there. Jets, Wild, Avalanche. All right. So anybody Pozo, no. So nobody really to trade for in Buffalo, I don't believe. Man, that picking up Jeff Skinner would not be that crazy in my opinion, but I don't know if it would even be possible. Victor Olofsson. Probably not. Alex Tuck, probably not. So it doesn't look like they could trade for anybody in Buffalo. No. So Buffalo looks like a no for trading. Do they have anybody interesting? Gossespear is not a bad choice. Let's see if there's anybody else. Lawson Krause. Maybe. Cassian, no. Richie, no. Hayton, no. Boyd, no. Fisher, no. Bugstad, no. And that looks like it. So Gossespear. Could they pick up Gossespear? I think so. I kind of feel like they could get that trade to go through. Shane Gossespear for Johansson. Could they do 1-for-1? I think see, this is where it's tough because I don't know until you don't know until you would try to negotiate a deal. I think they could trade Spear for Johansson. Um, what else would be required is the question. Um, hmm. Is there a way to filter? No. What are some big trades here? Bjorkstrand, man, that's inexpensive. Hmm. So I'm just trying to find if there's any comparable trades where you got a high value player in exchange for something else. And still no. There's one that was kind of close, but not quite. We might have to just do 1-for-1 for argument's sake. Yeah. Jack Eichel, Tuck Krebs first. Yeah, they could probably get more than what I'm trading for, but we'll just say 1-for-1 Spear for Johansson. Um, where? Trade with Arizona. Spear. Sending. Where is that? Oh, that's how you do it. Okay. Yeah. So like I said, there's gonna be hiccups the first time, but now I'm just learning how to do a trade. Drag and drop them into add to trade. Add to trade. Did that work? Yes. Okay, so receiving Spear, expiring contract, only 1 year left. Getting rid of Johansson, a number of years left, some decent performance. I think they'd go for the trade. It's kind of a salary dump, but they're getting a good player, so I think it would be around this. If I had to take a guess, I don't know for sure. So we'll see that goes through. So now we have Spear. Next up, because I would never pay for a defenseman as much as Yossi, I think we're trading him, but we'll have just a quick look. Don't want to go too crazy too quick. Where are we here? Now, of course, would they actually do this? Probably not, but this is what I would do. So he's around 15 goal scorer. We just picked up essentially the same amount of production from a goal scoring perspective in Spear. So Spear has been getting similar goals. I mean, Yossi had a standout year last year, but generally speaking, similar performance between the two. Yes, I'm sure Yossi has other factors to him that make him more valuable, but again, we're keeping this simple and just going by stats. Uh, so Spear essentially replaces Yossi. Then Yossi can be traded. And Yossi, I mean, the kind of stuff you could get for Yossi would be unreal. So, if one thing I forgot to see was, did Johansson have a? He doesn't have any clauses. I don't think. Thank God, because that would have made it way more complicated. Okay, so no movement clause. What's his clause there for Yossi? Because that might not even be possible to get rid of him. What's his clause? No clause, blah, blah, blah. So he would have to go to a good team, pretty much, is what I would see. Uh, who needs a defenseman that has a forward to spare? Right away, Vancouver stands out because they've got young guys. Just, I don't think anybody at the cap hit that would work. Let's go back. Ooh, Toronto. Because Toronto's going to want to make a move. Trade for Marner? Yossi for Marner? How old's Yossi? Yossi is 32. Expires when he is 38. If Toronto really wants to make a move, that would be one. Huh. That's an interesting one. I think that could happen. Would Yossi want to go to Toronto? Maybe. It seems unlikely, though. That sucks, because then I think we might be stuck with the Yossi contract. Is there anywhere he would go? The only one looks like Toronto. God, that sucks. Where else could you want to go? Vegas, probably not. Tampa, I don't think it's even possible. Anybody they could trade for him. No. Edmonton. No. Man, Toronto would be perfect, but doesn't look like it. Florida, maybe? But they couldn't take on the Bobrovsky contract, so no. Boston? Would he go to Boston? Probably not. Carolina. Probably not. Pittsburgh. Maybe. So maybe Yossi would go to Pittsburgh because maybe he'd think he'd have a better chance at a cup. Problem is, it's an older team. He's not quite that old. Would he go? I'd say probably not. They'd have to be like a for sure Stanley Cup contender. Rangers, no. Colorado? Is there anybody they could get from Colorado? Hmm. $1.7. Maybe Devon Taves and Eric Johnson. I'd say that's possible. That's actually conceivable. So, does Colorado have anything else that's good to get? There's no way we could get Rantanen. Landeskog? Could they get Landeskog? Probably not. But maybe. What's his production? Landeskog is 20 to 30 goals, point per game. Yossi is point per game defenseman. Devon Taves. Man, that's pretty good. I like that idea. I think Colorado would go for it too. Roman Yossi for Devon Taves. Is anybody else in Colorado worthwhile? Chushkin. Was extended. Lehkonen. They just picked him up and signed him. So I doubt it. Anybody else? Come on, somebody stand out here. Evan Rodriguez. 19 goals. Undrafted. That's not looking so bad. Anybody else? JT Comfer. $3.5. To so it's looking like something that's theoretically possible. I'm just trying to make this work out for Nashville as well. Alex Newhook, what's his story? First round pick. Maybe that's conceivable. See, this is where you get into weird kind of gray area where I don't know what teams would go for. Um, Well, we might as well just pretend, because of course this is pretend. We're gonna say, as crazy as this is, that Nashville is going to trade Roman Yossi to Colorado in exchange for Rodriguez, Taves, and you know what? Okay, so what we'll say is that they're going to take on the contract of Eric Johnson, which is expensive. Rodriguez, Taves, Johnson, and where's that young guy I just saw? New Hook. So this one's I don't know if it would actually happen, but let's just pretend it would. So it'll be Roman Yossi going for Rodriguez, Taves, Johnson, and New Hook. Um, we'll pretend. And of course, all this stuff couldn't happen at once, too. So it's another layer to why this is not quite realistic. But whatever, let's just pretend. So I think in that trade, Nashville theoretically lost. They picked up a crappy contract. Where were we here? So there was Roman Yossi for Evan Rodriguez, not expected or necessarily expected to be anything in cheap contracts, probably easy to get in the deal. Devon Taves is a really good player in exchange for Yossi. Yossi's, I'm sure they would want to have him in for Colorado to go for another cup. So pretty sure they would go for it. Uh, Eric Johnson, important enough player, but expensive and takes up cap space and doesn't produce that much. So I think they'd get rid of him. And then New Hook as kind of the sweetener to make it a fair trade for Nashville. I think it's something that could work. Whether or not it would in the end, I don't know, but I think it's close enough to what could happen. So, um, yeah. So then between the two players, or wait, we'll just go back to that later. One, two. They've got too many defensemen now. Jordan Gross, is he? Played really well in the AHL, and likewise this year. He's been good coming into the NHL. That's tough. Is there anybody else? Carrier. Um, Now, well, the problem I just created from picking up some contracts is too many defensemen, and I don't know who to get rid of now. McDonough's not a contract I don't think they'd be able to get rid of. Carrier, I think they could, or well, I know they could. Lozon. He's a definite get rid of. Fabro is a keeper. Ekholm is slightly too expensive. So let's get rid of Ekholm. It's just funny to play this. All right, so we've got Ekholm we want to get rid of, and we want to pick up a forward. Who can we pick up for Ekholm? So we need somebody that needs a defenseman, that has a forward that they can spare. Does Ekholm have any terms? No. So Edmonton's the first one that stood out already that they want a defenseman. Do they have anybody they could get rid of? I know Ekholm is well regarded. Don't know how well regarded. That's the problem here. Who could they trade? Nugent Hopkins would be a great guy to pick up. Pittsburgh, no. Does Florida have anybody? Duclair. So we meet again. Hmm. Hmm. Verhage. Hornquist, not enough production. No. Okay, who else do we got here? Blues, maybe? No, too many defensemen. Penguins. No. Flames? Probably not. Huh. Well, we'll skip that for now. Let's go another way. Nylander? For Ekholm? Would Toronto do it? I don't think so. Did JT Miller resign? Yes, he did. Bo Horvat. His contract's expiring. Huh. Still don't think they'd go for that. Well, let's look. So he was. And he's got 10 goals already. I doubt it. Dubois for Ekholm? Could that happen? Winnipeg doesn't really need another D, so I don't think so. Even though how many years left on Perron? 1 year. Would Yzerman trade Perron for Ekholm? Probably. The problem is long term. Ekholm's 32. You know what? That's actually not that crazy. Maybe David Perron. Do they have any good young guys? Hmm. Oh, this is tough. Ekholm for Perron, 1-for-1. I don't know if that works out well. Ekholm has 4 years. Hmm. Well, we'll go back in a sec to double check that one. Um, hmm. Could they get Kane? They'd probably be asking for too much. Corn, no. No. Man, Prawn's looking like the best choice so far, but it's just that he's a bit old. Mike Hoffman's with Montreal. No. Gallagher? That could work. Ekholm for Gallagher? They said they've been wanting to get rid of a forward. I think that could work actually. So let's do that. So we will trade Gallagher for Ekholm. 1-for-1. I think it would be really darn close to them going for it. He's had a couple not so good years. Not a good start to this year. I think they'd go for it. So let's just say yes. So Gallagher for Ekholm, 1-for-1. Okay. And Marcus or Michael Granlund, 5 million for how many goals? Point per game-ish player. 30 expires when he's 33. So well, we'll go back to that in a sec. So let's just clear out or wait, let me double check this here. So we've got 8 defensemen. Yeah. So we'll get rid of Lozon to where I don't know. Let's just say we trade him for a bag of pucks, basically. So choose your team. Let's choose Buffalo. Lozon. And he's gone. Okay, so I'm okay with this defense. Fabro, Carrier, Gross, McDonough, Johnson expires. That's fine by me. Okay, and then we need Granlund. Perron? Maybe. How old is Granlund? 30. Nah, we won't say that. Who's somebody younger with good scoring? Where's Mantha? He's in Washington, 5.7. First round pick. Maybe not. maybe. Hmm. See, what I'm running into is difficulties basically finding players where I can improve the team, uh, and it makes a noticeable difference. And so far, I mean, I'm not seeing too much. Um, I'm just going to substitute in some of these guys into my algorithm and see uh, how much of a difference the team is in terms of expected performance here. So 3.14293. We have oops. Was okay. So, anyways, after I think essentially that's as I mean, I would probably do more trades, but those are kind of the big ones to kind of make the team how I would want the team. So, uh, to recap, basically, it would be Shane Gostisbehere for Ryan Johansson. I think that could go 1-for-1 because Arizona would be picking up cap, but they'd be getting a good player. Nashville would be losing cap hit and be getting a decent enough player. I think the combination would go for both teams. Then Nashville trading with Colorado. Colorado gets Roman Yossi. Nashville gets Evan Rodriguez, Devon Taves, Eric Johnson, and Alex Newhook. Now, if you think that's too much, maybe cut out Newhook, and it's still, I think, a fine trade, uh, even for Nashville. Um, so, I mean, I would go for that. I think it could go Nashville trading with Montreal. Brendan Gallagher going to Nashville. Matthias Ekholm going to Montreal. Montreal wants to get rid of forwards, at least in recent news, uh, which would make that work. And I think they both go for it. If I was in charge of Nashville, I definitely would, but I think Montreal would go for that because Ekholm's well regarded, as far as I know. If Nashville would have to sweeten it, I mean, I don't think it'd be by any dramatic amount. So I think that could go through. Uh, and then, yeah, even if. So I did have it where they just dropped Ekholm, or sorry, not Ekholm, um, Lozon for nothing, just to clear cap space. But I just added him back in because, I mean, not really a big deal either way because they're still under the cap. So, anyways, so altogether, before with the previous team, the predicted goals was or well, predicted scoring 3.14 from my algorithm, and then after 3.4848. So that would put them so it would put them from 20th in expected scoring to 13th. And as far as I would guess, I don't think any dramatic change to defensive performance. They got younger with Gallagher. Goss this spear. Give me one sec here. Where is it? They also got younger with Goss this spear versus Ekholm. So essentially, the performance has been increased. What then would happen, or what I would do, the Eric Johnson contract would expire. Get rid of that, no big deal, because his production's not that critical. That gives you $6 million in cap space with a higher performing team. And like I said, I was looking at trading Granlund, but in the end, I mean, it's a better team. One step at a time. Maybe I would do more thereafter, but yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's a better now. On paper, everybody would probably argue that no, it's a worse team, but in terms of performance, based on my analysis and my algorithm, I mean, the team should be better. So, yeah, again, who's to say what would actually happen in reality? But those are some trades that I would do. So, you got $6 million after Johnson leaves the team at the end of the year. $6 million, you could add who's out there? Let's do this. So free agents at the end of the year. One sec. I thought there was a way to check this. Oops. So yeah, with 6 million, I mean you've got so many UFAs that you could sign. Who could you afford? Dubois, maybe. Zucker. Let's filter this a better way. Pavelski. Anyways, there's a whole number of players that you could fill that gap with at 6 million, and then that also increases the team performance. So add in, just for argument's sake, let's say you add in who's somebody here? Well, Pavelski was 5.5. Let's just say add in Pavelski. Who to replace? So you add in Pavelski, and that puts you basically half a goal, well, just a bit more than half a goal per game, um, as an increase to the performance. So when you think about that, I mean, that's a pretty dramatic increase. And then so that puts them, what was it here? 372. 372 puts them to ninth in scoring at the same cap hit. So I mean, I think that's what I would do, at least if I was in charge of Nashville. Now, some of those are just short term, some of those are longer term, but that's just an example of where I think you can increase the performance instantaneously. Now, in the end, if it would actually pan out, because let's say Roman Yossi is a bigger contributor to puck movement, and then that increases the team performance, and without him, that it's going to decrease. I mean, I don't know, but at least from goals in, goals out, the team's better with this with these changes. Um, so anyways, that's what I would do. And then in the long run, you have cap space. Uh, you could make some further moves. Yeah, so a lot, just more flexibility in the end, and in my opinion, a better roster. Um, so yeah. So anyways, we'll chop it there. I hope you enjoyed. It was a bit slow at times, that's for sure. Uh, Next one should be a lot easier. But yeah, if you did like it, hit the like button, share, and subscribe, turn on notifications to be advised of next streams. As you saw today, I started early, and then the plan is to go at the same time moving forward. So uh, it'll be 3:30 p.m. Eastern moving forward. It better fits my schedule, so that's what we'll do. But otherwise, yeah, if you turn on notifications, it should tell you, or you can check my channel's homepage to see the times. And then, yeah, if you have any comments, suggestions, please leave them in the comments there. And yeah, otherwise, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.